شتشربين شتشربين. I feel like I'm rapping right now. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing great. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna go ahead and teach you about what do you want. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and visit this, and then I'll teach you about the verb drink. So if you want to go out and ask for a drink, or the waiter asks you for a drink, you know what to answer, and then you know how he's going to ask you. And then I'll go ahead and teach you some vocab pronounced in the Iraqi dialect as usual. So let's go ahead and dive into it. The first thing here that I want to talk about is what do you want? Now, what do you want? I think we learned that in the previous lesson, and what do you want is it read, okay? It read is want, that we learned that in the previous lesson. And what, as we learned that in the previous lesson, is shinu. So if you combine them together, it will be shinu, it read. Shinu, it read. However, we combine these two words together to make it into one word, and we use that word mainly. So instead of shinu, it read, we would say shit read, shit read, and that will be for a male. So shit read, what do you want? Shit readeen for a female, what do you want? And shit redoon for you all. Okay, so these are the three main ones that if a waiter come up to you, he can ask you for a drink, or he can ask you for food. Shitreed, shitreedeen, shitreedoon. So let's go ahead and teach you how to say the verb drink. The first verb here, as I told you, is drink. Drink is, the verb is yishrab. Yishrab is drink. Now let's go ahead and conjugate it for all the pronouns. So I, ani, ashrab. Ani, ashrab. Okay, ashrab. Inta, you male, tishrab. Tishrab. Inti, tishrbeen. تشربين. هو يشرب. يشرب. هي تشرب. تشرب. احنا نشرب. نشرب. they هم يشربون. يشربون. into, you all, تشربون. تشربون. Alright, so now let's go ahead and use what do you want to drink in a sentence and how to answer. Alright, so let's say you are at a restaurant, and then the waiter come to you guys and say أهلا وسهلا. Ahlan wa sahlan, as we learned, is welcome. Or he could say marhaba, and then you answer marhaba. If he says ahlan wa sahlan, then you would answer ahlan wa sahlan. Then he's probably going to ask, how are you? And we learned that in the previous lessons. Again, if you haven't watched it, check the link in the description. You have to watch it before you continue. Okay, binge watch my videos. Ishlon kum. Ishlonkum is how are you all, because you're in a group of friends and then the waiter come up to you. Ishlonkum. Okay, then you guys answer zanin. Like let's say one person answer for all of you guys, zanin. Let's say you're the only one at the restaurant and then the waiter comes up to you. So he would say ahlan wa sahlan, you would answer ahlan wa sahlan. Ishlonek, you would say zain, alhamdulillah. Let's assume he's a waiter. Inta shonek, zain, alhamdulillah, the waiter is going to ask you. Alright, so now the first thing in the restaurant, they're going to ask you, what do you guys want to drink? Okay, so as I taught you earlier, shitridun is what do you want, what do you all want? Okay, so the waiter asks everybody, shitridun, اتشربون. You all. شو تريدون اتشربون. Okay. Also, if he could say this, but we also simplify that, and he could also say شتش شربون. شتش شربون. Okay, so شتش شربون. So instead of saying شتريدون اتشربون, kind of this will be simplified into شتش شربون. شتش شربون. Okay, so let's say you're the only one, a male. You're a male, you go to the restaurant, you're the only one. شتش رب. شتش رب. Oh, or شتريد تشرب. So شتريد تشرب or شتشرب. So شتشرب is what do you want to drink. So let's say you are a female at the restaurant and the waiter comes up to you. شتشربين. شتشربين. I feel like I'm rapping right now. شتشربين. He can also ask شتريدين اتشربين, or straight up شتشربين. Okay, and then you answer using the verb I want. Okay, and then drink. So previously we learned I want in the previous lessons. أريد. أني أريد أشرب مي. مي is water. Okay, so أني أريد أشرب مي. I want to drink water. So now let's go ahead and visit some vocabs just so you guys can increase your vocab, and then we'll end our lesson. I'm going to go ahead and teach you with a little bit of vocab. I don't want to overwhelm you with everything that you learned today. So let's just consider we're at a restaurant scenario. First of all, I didn't write restaurant here, but restaurant is mat'am. Mat'am. All right. So as we were discussing earlier, you were at the restaurant. Now, when you walk into the restaurant, the waiters, the people at the restaurant greeting you, they're gonna say "Ahlan wa sahlan," like I just told you, and they will say "Tfaddal, tfaddal, tfaddal." Tfaddal is welcome for a male, one person. Okay, if you were a female, he would say "Tfaddali, tfaddali," welcome. If you're a group of people, which probably go a group of people on the restaurant, تفضلوا. أهلا وسهلا. تفضلوا. تفضلوا. Okay. Now I want to teach you this. هذا. هذا is this. So let's say they take you to a table. Now a table is ميز. Mez is a table. Now this is completely different than any other Arabic dialect. Mez is table. So he took you to a table, and you would say, لا ما أريد هذا الميز. ما أريد is I don't want. هذا this. الميز table. Okay, so ما أريد هذا الميز, and then he will probably take you to a different table. Alright, thank you for watching the video, everybody. Make sure you support the channel by liking and subscribing. This will help me a lot. I just started. And make sure you share my video if you find it useful with your friends that are trying to learn Arabic in the Iraqi dialect.